1, 2. Yo, what's up? This your boy D. Went on the porch with DNF, and guess what, y'all? I got two good people here today. Two real good people here today. First, I want to introduce my co-host, my special guest co-host. He's probably gonna be permanent, y'all. So be looking for him. My boy, Kerry Chambliss, my brother. What you got for him, bro?
What's going on, man? Just every day on the porch, man.
All right.
Like we used to do back on Simon Bolivar.
Right.
I like to be here, man. Appreciate the invite.
No problem. And now, I'm not here. So I got my girl with me. The councilwoman of District E, New Orleans East. My homie from way back, Cyndi Nguyen.
Thank you, Dee. Thank you, Kerry, for having me. This is
wow,
pretty cool.
Cyndi, hold up. You said thank you, Kerry, for having you?
She said,
I said thank you, Dee.
I know, but then you say thank you, Kerry, for having me. Kerry was invited himself.
Go ahead and claim.
We gotta claim. That's how we do. We gotta claim.
All right, okay, cool. No problem.
He just said in the beginning that he may be a permanent host.
So I was like, okay, cool.
No problem. We good with that.
No, that's good. No, Dee, thank you for having me here on the porch. This is awesome.
Oh, no problem. I'm glad you came. Because you know how sometimes it's hard to get people to come sit in on the show and actually talk about things, important things that everybody need to know about the community. And I'm just glad you came sit down with us, because this is going to give the people of New Orleans East and let them know what's going on, the future plans you have for New Orleans East, so we can make it better than what it is right now and keep moving forward. So I'm glad you came.
Oh, no, and I'm glad that you brought it up because, well, first of all, you and Ebony are a huge contribution to the community. So thank you for the work that you guys do. And I know that, and one of the things for me is like, you know, if I say that I'm going to follow up with you, and I told you I was going to follow up with you and thank you for participating in the Taste of Mardi Gras.
Oh, no problem. That was fun. I enjoyed that. It was cold.
It was cold.
It was cold.
But listen, y'all, but normally doesn't it? It's always cold during Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
So why are we being this time versus last time?
Right. Any other time.
I know, but it was
because it's the pandemic.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like too, that we were kind of like the pandemic mood, and then this whole weather came. But then I was like, wait, but we will be freezing our ass off for Zulu every year.
No matter what.
Right?
We'll be freezing.
Yeah.
I know. Not only freezing, we'll wait until we drink so much.
I think that's probably why nobody was out there drinking.
That's probably why.
Nobody was out there because look, you had one of the Zulu guys out there.
Yeah, the tramp.
Yeah, and I said, and me and him were talking. I said, bro, I know you glad y'all wasn't out there this morning. I know you wanted to parade, but I know you glad y'all wasn't out there this morning. He looked at me and said, shh, but I'm glad we wasn't there this morning. But he was like, I wanted to parade, but he was like, man, it was just too cold to be out there.
But I think I had a relapse because normally I've been riding Zulu. This would have been my 4th year riding Zulu. So I've been riding Zulu for the past 3 years. Y'all know how it rolls. You get up at 3 a.m, go get you get your face done, you eat your breakfast, and then you open your crown peach at 6 a.m.
That's it, right.
And I think that's where the relapse kicks in, because normally it's like, okay, wait, I'm supposed to be somewhere and my body's supposed to be feeling a certain way at this time. But all of us were at home in front of the TV, being miserable because we're not able to be at any of the balls. So I think that was a relapse. But I just want to thank you guys for being out there for the Taste of Mardi Gras. So that was fun.
Anytime you call us, we call.
Appreciate it.
You know that. Anytime you call us, we call.
And speaking of family, Lance, what do you feed that boy?
He eat everything in the refrigerator. Everything in the refrigerator. But you know what? He didn't got tall, and he trimming out because he playing ball, and he just eat, but he eat a lot. He eat a lot. You know what, Cyndi? I need to figure out how can I put money, how can I keep, because at Dilla Cell, you gotta pay for them to eat.
Ooh.
And you're talking about somebody that eat. I need to figure out how can I get the city to help me pay for his food.
But that's a bill
on his own.
No. Okay. And Ebony sent me a picture of Lance. And I said, and I'm looking at the picture. Okay. And I'm like, what a very handsome guy. Then I said, wait. This is Lance. This is little Lance.
Right.
This is little Lance that used to
Lance
come
is
to my
looking-
summer camp and my program. I said, Ebony, if you did not send me this picture, there was nobody else going to recognize him on the street. I may be checking him out.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, my God, he's gotten
Yeah.
tall and he is maturing.
Yes. Yeah.
Cyndi, I had a question about your program. You just brought it up.
Mhm.
Talk to me about that program.
Oh my
Because
God.
I'm not really familiar with that program. You talked about
Yeah.
Lance, and I
Yeah.
just wanted to just
With the VA program.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was a beautiful
Yeah.
program. I loved it because the kids, we brought Lance and the twins
Yeah.
over there, and it was ran
I have a
phenomenal.
5-year-old, and I don't know if the program is still around.
The program is still around. I'm just not there.
Okay.
So when I ran and I made a commitment to the district that, you know, if they give me an opportunity to serve, that I would focus on the district 100%, in which I did. So I had to turn that over to another person to run it. But, you know, the program was designed to really help working class family, you know, and then not only that, but to make sure that kids have a safe place. Because as a parent, I would not leave my kid at any program, you know, because even though I need to leave my kids at a program so I could go to work, but as a parent, it would help me to know that there's a program that I could trust, that my kids is going to be treated right. Because you don't want to hear if your kids were mistreated in any way.
Right.
And so that's how I kind of ran the program. Like if it was my children, how would I feel if the kids, you know, if I see a kid, and I always tell the parents, you know, we don't let kids stay in the corner by themselves.
Right.
You know, and I tell the parents too, and I don't know if you remember this. I don't know if you ever been to any of my parent meeting. Ebony always goes to
No,
it.
she always did that.
And I said, if it wasn't for the children, I would not deal with none of your parents.
No. You know what, Cyndi? This is no word of lie. She told me that the first time she went to the parent meeting, and she told me that she came home and said, man, you know, this lady told us she wouldn't be dealing with us.
I would not be dealing with y'all if it wasn't for the children. Because my passion is really about the kids.
Is this like an after school program?
It's after school summer programs. A lot of the summer, I think Lance and the twins came for the summer.
Summer.
And summer program is like really big because a lot of the kids, that's the only time they get to see each other.
Yeah.
And so our summer program was really robust. It was kind of like a reunion. And I've been very blessed because a lot of the kids that come to my program, they come back every summer. So like Lance has been with me since oh the Lord.
Since he was Lance is in 10th grade, and he's been there since I want to say 5th grade.
And then the twins, I've known the twins since baby.
Yeah. So this program is for older.
No, for 5-year-olds all the way up until 12 years old. But some of the kids that's been with me, I take them back when they get older.
Yeah. So
I started a teen camp.
Okay.
So my program started off with a 5-year-old to 12-year-old. And then I didn't realize that these kids was on the age out. And I'm like, well, I'm done with y'all. They're like, well, Miss Cyndi, I'm 13. I'm like, well, wait, what do you want me to do? Well, you kids can't leave us now. I said, watch me. But no. So then we added a teen component. And then from 13, so I added 13, 14, 15. I said, y'all, I can't do 16. I said, because I'm losing I want to focus on the young kids. Because when you have so many programs, it takes away the focus of those groups that you started off. Right. And so I want to make sure that we focus on those kids. And, but I miss working at VIT. I miss running the summer camp. And actually, you guys know what? I still run the summer camp. I volunteer during the summer as a council member to run those programs.
Okay.
Yeah. The only thing I don't think, did Lance go camping with me?
No, he didn't go this year because football.
Oh,
football
that's
practice
right.
During the summer. But he was trying because we were like, man, you didn't got too old, bro. You can't go to nah. I could go over there and go to work. You know.
That's
but
right.
I was like, man, I go to work, your mama go to work. Who's gonna pick you up from school after football practice and then bring you all the way to miss you and then come back and get you? He was trying hard though, but
I'm always trying to find something for my 5-year-old. He was just one child. Right. Yeah. And it's difficult.
Right.
For him to be at home just with us all the time.
Yeah. One of the things I started, and I'm going to do it this summer, is that I actually take 30 kids camping for 1 week, overnight. No parents. I'm the only parents that's on the trip. Yes.
And you have all 30 of them.
All 30 of them. And these
From
are the
what
kids
ages?
from 5 years old all the way
Same
to 15.
age.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
These are kids in my summer camp. And when I first started that 6 years ago, and I was like, no, I'm not taking no parents. And, 30 kids sign up. And I'll just say this, when you have parents that trust you with their children, it's such an honor. Let me tell you that, because not civilized parents just don't hand their children over.
Right.
No.
Okay, because I know there's different type of parents,
Oh, do we know?
Yeah, right. And I take them camping. We actually go camping in Klein, Mississippi. I partner with the Boy Scouts. We rent out their cabin. So there's a cabin there. So there's one side's 15 bunk beds and the other side's 15 bunk beds. So that's why I take 15 girls, 15 boys. And we've been doing it for 4 years. We were supposed to celebrate our 5th year camping trip last summer, but because of COVID. But we're gonna do it this year. Yeah, but I don't take no parents. I don't take no parents with me. I tell you, you guys, I'm serious. As parents, sometimes we are too strict when it comes to when kids are having fun. It's just our natural thing, So, and I wanted the kids to really enjoy the camping trip. And then if their parents are there, they're not going to be able to enjoy it
like they want to.
Right? Yeah. So, like we do is like Sunday we get there. This is the routine. Sunday we get there around 2:00. Guess what we do first? We don't even unpack. We just throw into the cabinet and we go mudsliding down the hill.
Wait, just throw everything up and just go mudslide in the clothes they already in.
Yeah, we just throw so the Boy Scout, they set everything up. So I have an agenda of all of our schedule. And so they've already had a side. There's a hill there on that campsite. And so they put out a tarp. And so we do mudslide. One year I bought paint, a washable paint. We slide out and paint.
All in paint.
Yeah,
it's super fun.
It is, but you're right. That's why parents can't come, because the first day most parents will say, "You better go change the clothes."
For what?
Yeah. Don't do that in your good socks. Why you got just good shoes?
Your hair's not done right.
So it's like,
why?
So
sometimes you just gotta let them kick back. And oh no, don't be going down that fast. It's mudslide. You're supposed to go down the hill,
right?
And that's the whole fun about it. Exactly. No, don't be stacking on each other. Well, that's what we're supposed to do. So we all tie together, right, and go down together,
right?
And the kids will be like, "Yay!" And of course, Miss Cyndi be like, "Ah!" But that was just one thing. Mudslide. We go hiking.
Okay.
And I'll tell you this: the first year, I took 30 kids. I had one girl, obese. Okay. I didn't even think about that walking 5 miles, hiking 5 miles is going to put a toll on her. And I found myself out in the sun. This is summer month. This is the month of July. That's when we go camping, by the way. So it's hot.
One of the hottest months.
Oh my Lord. I'm out there with 30 kids crying. Miss Cyndi, it's hot. Listen. Oh, really, y'all? I can't tell. What do you think? This is July. This is a South. It didn't just happen. And then so I remember this girl, and she's like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I said, what do you mean? Miss Cyndi, I can't make it. Well, I'm like, baby, we finished 1 mile. We got 4 miles to go. Can't make it. And she is heavy. She's heavy. I said, baby, we're going to have to do it. I tell you now, she's walking every day.
Wow.
She builds up her confidence. Builds up her confidence, even as a large person. But now she's losing the weight.
Right.
That's the most important. And I remember when we got back to the cabin and we all kind of drop on the bed like this. Like, I was like, I would never do this again. Then of course next year I did it again.
Right.
But those type of things for kids, and a lot of the suburban kids or urban kids don't get that opportunity to really expose to the outdoor. And I am not a country girl, as you can see. I have never gone camping as a little kid. My first camping trip is the first trip that I took 30 kids with me. Yes.
You decided to go camping with 30 kids for the first time?
Exactly.
Oh no, I'd have had to do a test run first. Let me and my kids go first.
No, I did not.
We go test run.
I've been a city girl. You know,
and being growing up as a city girl going camping, I know I couldn't get my wife to go in the backyard, let alone go camping.
I don't even do that at home. I don't go to the backyard. You know, but then I don't know. I just think for me was just to give the children in our community an opportunity, particularly kids that don't get that, and especially parents that work during the summer, right? That may not have the time for vacation or can't afford it. Like I can't afford always having a vacation,
right?
You know. And so, but it's been a trip for a lot of these kids, and it's been really great. So I'm hoping to do it again this year. I'm taking 30 kids, 15 boys, 15 girls, same routine. And then, yes, and we do have junk food night.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
I love it.
Junk food night. Like
I love
and
it.
some parents would not allow you to have junk food, right?
That's my thing.
And that's why you gotta have those type of things.
You know what, Cyndi? I think Kelsey, Corey, and Lance gonna get signed up for
this. I think kids are gonna be signed up.
I think they're gonna be.
He really needs something, and that's why I've asked you that, because my son, he's the only child, and it's kind of difficult, like just being the only child.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't
spoil him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get him me for 1 week.
Yeah.
He's gonna come home independent. You're probably gonna hate me for it because
So look, Cyndi, tell everybody where they can. Is it something that they can sign up or look for online?
Yeah, not really, because I'm doing this, so I'm volunteering my time.
Okay.
So I have to know the kid and I have to know the parents.
Okay. Cool. So these are already.
Yeah, because Kerry can't send his kid and then start being funny with me.
Right.
Just because Kerry Jr. come home with a little scratch on the leg. Well, Kerry, what do you think? We're out in the woods.
What you thought he was gonna do?
Don't file no lawsuit on me. So I think, when we talk about this, these are real stuff, right? And I think that's why sometimes when we hesitate to do program, because we want to be fun for the kids, but then when you're working with kids, there's all sorts of stuff may happen.
Right.
But I could guarantee what would not happen is that your child would not be left alone on a trip. Your child would not be physically, verbally abused in any way, or sexually. Let's just be real. Let's just put everything on the porch.
Right.
Let's just put everything on the porch, right?
That's
right. Let's just put everything on the porch. None of those stuff. I had trips where kids got into a fight, would break it down, and I said, y'all, in the corner, chill out. And I'll sit there with a bucket of ice cream, eating and just. Yes, it's good. The kids look at me like, I said, you got a problem? What's wrong, baby? I said, no, stay in that corner. I'm not done yet. Let me finish eating first, and then I'll. I think those stuff like that, and then it really gets the kids to say, what, Miss Cyndi, I just, many times kids just get excited because they don't get that opportunity to interact with other kids. And I think even as parents, we like to cater them, we like to baby them, right? We're so afraid that they get blended into the world, but you gotta blend them in and allow them to interact. And then hopefully their interaction, and even if their interaction is not right, you can still correct it. And the war is not over yet.
Yeah.
So, like Kerry Jr., is that, oh, that's his name?
Yes,
I just guessed it. Like, I don't know Kerry Jr., but put him out there so that way he could interact with other people besides you.
Right.
Because the world out there, they got all sorts of funny people like me, and you want him to be able to interact and how to handle it as well.
Yeah.
And you want him to be able to learn this at a very young age. And if he made a mistake, it's okay, baby.
Yeah, you're right.
And I found that this trip, the camping trip that we do, because I had a little Dominique, she came with me when she was only 4 years old. I tell you, she was like, Miss Cyndi, I need my undergarment. I said, baby, you're gonna have to go find that in your suitcase, honey. Your mama's not here. What do you mean? Exactly. I said, you still wearing diapers? No. Well, then you know how to do it yourself.
Go find.
Go.
That's right. So it's also motivate them to be independent.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that. That's cool.
Oh yeah,
That's
but let me tell you, the kids, they would be crying when we have to leave. I think it's
because
time.
They enjoy that independence. They don't do that at home.
Yeah.
Just like you said, that's why I don't bring the parents.
That's always been my 4 years. I have not had a single parent on the trip. Now I have my girlfriend. I said, don't you need like somebody to help? Hell no. Y'all stay your ass at home. FaceTime me if y'all miss me. Anyway, we got no internet out there, so don't FaceTime me.
Don't FaceTime.
And you know what I do with parents? It's like I post picture on the Facebook. I say, well, Miss Cindy, are you gonna call home for what? You expect me to make 30 phone calls? Ain't gonna happen. Because I got no time for that. Exactly, because I know my agenda.
Yeah.
We're like always rolling from hiking, team building, mudsliding, swimming, not in the pool, but in the lake. A lot of these kids don't get a chance to swim in the lake. We go canoeing, we got junk food night, we got movie night, we got stuff to do,
And I ain't got time to be calling all y'all, telling y'all.
The day calling 30 people, I'm gonna spend all day doing that.
Exactly. I said, listen, if y'all not ready, just keep your kids at home.
Yeah.
I tell them straight up. I said, I can't make promises to you that I can't keep. I'm not gonna make promises to you if I can't keep. That's always been my thumb.
Right.
If I can't keep it, I'm gonna be upfront with you.
Right.
I said, but you could check out our picture on Facebook. I'll post it at the end of the night for you. And I did. At the end of the night,
as you can see everything.
At the end of the night, I post picture. Now we have one kid that came and he was a little bit homesick. So I also know that as much as I push the kids for independent, but I also know when to call mom and dad. That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
important.
That's important.
Yeah, but I still push the kid, but then I still try to make sure that I said, you know what, if I can't push anymore, I'm gonna call mom and dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, you can't.
Yeah.
What else you ask for? You can't ask for nothing else but that one,
Yeah, but I'm excited for this July. So I think going back to your original question, just hit me up. Let me get to know your kid. I gotta know you. I don't want you to be funny.
Don't act all funny.
Exactly.
Because if you act all funny, you ain't getting no invite.
And then especially like girls, their hair would not be combed every day.
Right.
All right. Even my hair don't get combed every day.
Well, you know my 3 coming because I'm like this.
Yeah.
See y'all later.
You guys, yeah. No, I think it's great for the kids, especially, for them to be independent and do stuff and really go out there. Like I said, it's hot and sweaty, but it's a lot of fun. Right. So we're doing our 50th anniversary this July.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, cool. Yes, I'm excited.
Miss Cindy, you have always done a lot for the community. Like you have this community program. I met you through Cricket Wireless, where we were doing a community outreach program. We did the Snowball Fest. Yeah. We did all kind of stuff, Miss Cindy, right? Like this is what you is all about, right?
Yeah.
Like providing to the underprivileged community, essentially.
Yeah.
Right. Tell me what inspired that. Why you was so attracted to the underprivileged community?
Believe it or not, you guys, I was never an angel when I was growing up.
No, really?
What?
Like I said,
no, really?
I'm just kidding.
Wow, no, really?
I see you. I'm about to take off now. I'm about to take the earring off now.
Hold on. Wait. Hold up. We cannot mess up this beautiful set we got going on.
Ebony's gonna kill us. Sorry, Ebony.
And look, and all I'm gonna do is this when she said, "Who did this?" Right there.
Now, I grew up being very mischievous. And then I came over when I was 5 years old from Vietnam. Poor, my family didn't even have, we traveled from Vietnam over here. And the only thing we had was just our clothing on our back. Didn't have money. Didn't even speak the language, and, it was tough. And I think it reminded me last year when COVID hit. I don't know if you guys heard the story, but when we were told about COVID, it reminded me about the journey that I came over from Vietnam with my family. So I came over, I was 5 years old. My mom was pregnant, had my sister, my older sister, my older brother, my grandparents, and my aunt. And we traveled to America in a boat. And it's kind of like those big boat, and we're at the bottom. Thousands of immigrants trying to escape from Vietnam. So it's not like we had luggage. There was no luggage. Whatever you had, you just put it on you and you run. And there was not enough food. And my mom was pregnant, and I remember sharing a bowl of noodle with my mom. And I was 5 years old. And I'm like, well, I'm hungry. And my dad is like, Cindy, your mom is pregnant. We got to make sure that she's nourished. And I think because of that, and then thinking about COVID and didn't know what's going to happen with COVID, and I knew people were losing their job. I didn't want people to starve because I know starvation hurts family. I know starvation hurts people. So long story short, so growing up in New Orleans, I've always been mischievous, always got in trouble. And then when I grew up and then started figuring out, like, you know what, you just can't take from the community. So that's when I came back to New Orleans about 23 years ago. And I said, you know, so I got my bachelor's degree as a social worker. So actually I cleaned up, straightened up my attitude. You know, I got kicked out of 2 high school, but that's besides the point. That's besides the point. That's all the past.
Yeah, we're gonna glaze over that. You know,
Right.
we ain't gonna worry about
What's
that. You know,
now?
right.
What's going on?
What's going on today? Right,
Yeah,
right.
so I came back and I just saw that the Vietnamese community was so isolated. And then I, you know, traveling around to going to school from different states, it's like we should all be one community, no matter what color of your skin, we should all be integrated. And that's why I started with Viet. And I think being mischievous was one way of me trying to get attention. But I've always enjoyed connecting with people. You know, I mean, I be like, whatever, I'm cool with it. Ain't all that serious, y'all.
Right.
All right. I don't know why y'all so uptight about it.
Stop being so uptight.
Exactly. It is what it is. All right. So I've always enjoyed that, loving, serving people. Just didn't figure it out until after college, got my degree. And then, you know, it's like, listen, you know, I got to do what's right. Can't keep taking from the community. So that's when I started Viet.
Okay.
And, you know, and just loving, just serving the people and just learning, you know. So it's, I guess in a way it was always been part of me, but just didn't know how to define it.
Right.
And I think it's part of everybody. You just have to define it.
Right.
You know, and timing and place are, timing is very critical too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So with running Viet, what made you say, you know what? I think I could run District E. I think I could go ahead and do New Orleans East.
Yeah.
What you know, I call it the aha moment. What was your aha moment where it was like, I could do this? Yeah,
Memorial Day weekend. It was when everybody was talking about who's gonna run. And I had to really evaluate and contemplate. So my predecessor is Mr. James Gray, and you know, I have interacted with him on several occasions prior to making the decision. And I'm one that no one is perfect. It is a very tough job. But if you're not accessible and if you're not willing to do the work, then nothing's gonna happen. But I knew that I'm the type of person that if I say I was gonna do it, I'm gonna do it.
Right.
So there was characteristic about me that humbly, if I could share, that listen, I've been trained, I've tested myself. So it's not like I wake up one morning and say, hey, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this right. I've tested myself for 18 years, working with community, and testing myself to say, am I really committed or am I just saying it? And so reflecting back of 18 years of work at Viet and serving the community, and I said, you know what? I'm committed. You know, I'm committed, you know, but I'm gonna just offer myself. And if the voters want me to serve, then I would love to serve. But then I also, was struggling the fact I'm gonna lose all my children. Right. The kids at Viet. Right. You know. So I contemplate 18 years of serving children. And I even had kids that came and goes to Miss Cyndi, what's gonna happen if you're gonna become a city council member? I said, baby, I don't know. I said, but one thing I know is that the work that we're doing at Viet, we could take it to the next level. You know, we could take it to the next level. Okay. And so I think that was the moment for me, was just basically making sure that the voters in District E have options. You know, I'm not perfect, but I know that I'm still very committed in revitalizing the district and continue to work hard. I hope that people recognize that. You know, Rome wasn't built overnight. Right. And let me tell you, if District E started the movement of revitalizing maybe 10 years ago, then it won't be so hard today. But because of the lack of leadership, the lack of investment, the lack of attention, the lack of everything. I just feel like we're just starting. And then now we got the COVID-19 that really set behind. So when you talk about development, and I hear that all the time, development, when are we going to have development, right? And then and I tell people all the time, city government does not start up a private business.
Right.
Right. So when Cricket came in, did you guys call the city council member
to
just open up a store in?
So we haven't opened up a store out there just yet, but did we call a city council member? No.
Y'all took initiative and you guys assessed the market.
We
look at where it's viable to be located, and you guys
talk to lease owners, owners,
rent it out. If you need to get a
like
permit, you go to City Hall, you get a permit. But those are corporate. But when Ebony started her consulting business, she did it because this is what she wanted to do.
Right.
And so I share that to say that when you talk about development, it is a public and private partnership, but mostly private started first. Okay, particularly around land that we don't own. Now the city does own the Six Flag property in Lincoln Beach, in which we are making an investment. So Lincoln Beach, been closed for 50 years.
Right.
Right. You guys were babies. You guys were private. You weren't born.
Right. I don't even know about what
but I know mama didn't even have an age.
Right.
I know about Lincoln Beach because how I know about it years ago when I was a teenager, a lot of the guys from my area, uptown, they went out there and just went over there and was over there swimming. And you had all the signs up saying no swimming, but we were teenagers from uptown. Man, I didn't go, but a lot of the guys who in my area, and then that's when I was like, "Where's Lincoln Beach?" And
have you been out there yet?
No.
You guys don't have to go out there.
Don't tell me.
No. Well, it's not really open to the public, so we go out there. We can't tell nobody that we're out there. So we're gonna get busted.
Right.
All right. So. But in either case, so Lincoln Beach is
still Cyndi. Cyndi from the street. Cyndi from the block.
Listen. Don't tell nobody, but I climbed the levee to get onto Lincoln Beach. Yes, I sure did. Climb over that levee. You jump that little thing and walk over the top.
See, you can't take Cyndi out of Cyndi.
No, let me tell you. But I was gonna just say, so Lincoln Beach has been closed for 50 years now. So technically it's closed.
Okay.
Because it's not safe out there. So the city is actually doing a study right now. And I've already set aside 3.2 million out of the bond sale to reopen Lincoln Beach the right way. Okay, now people, I don't know if you guys know this, but in the days, they would have to walk through a tunnel to get to Lincoln Beach.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a tunnel. It's filled with water right now. Maybe one day I'll take you guys out there and kind of walk you guys through. There's actually a tunnel. Nice. There's water in there. People used to walk in there. And so when I looked at that, I said, no, this is unacceptable. We should not have to walk through a tunnel without children.
Right.
Right? That's not right. Maybe in the old days it worked well, but not today. I'm sorry. Right. And I think I was just talking to another group, particularly projects that are in minority community, we need to expect the best of the best.
Yeah.
And not just settle. Thank you. Right. So the $3.2 million that I set aside with the bond sale is going to help redesign Lincoln Beach.
Oh.
Yes.
Cool.
So now if you go out in the days, they used to have the Ferris wheel, but none of those are already there. None of those are there. So if we look at the beach right now, so you still got the beach, but the beach is smaller than it used to be. So because of the erosion, they lost a lot of sand. And then we're testing the water. We want to make sure the water is clean for our kids, right? And there's a few alligators out there. So we got to make sure that we address that. And there's environmental, there's poison ivy. You don't want to bring your kids out there and they get poison ivy and infected, right? So there's a lot of environmental issues that we want to clean up. But it takes time.
Right.
The area has been closed for 50 years. So you just can't open up overnight just because we're in COVID and everybody's looking for a place to hang out.
Right.
So
what timeline would you put on that?
So the study should be back in June of this year.
Cool.
Okay. The bond sale the money should be sold by March. And then we should go into design phase for Lincoln Beach. I say around July, August, September. And
of this year. July,
yeah.
no later than September.
Around designs. Well, government is very slow, y'all.
Right.
Yeah, so
especially during the pandemic.
oh my God.
So
yeah.
Well,
the money is there to redesign Lincoln Beach. Now, once we go out to Lincoln Beach, you're gonna see what I mean. We could actually connect where Lincoln Beach used to be at all the way to Tipatina, the lakefront.
Wow. Yeah.
Just imagine 3 to 4 miles of beachfront.
Hmm.
Right now, so you got Lincoln Beach on one end, you got Tipatina on the other end, then you got rocks. But then just imagine if we build a path from Tipatina all the way to, so you could actually go running in the morning out on the lake, go biking, and then you could fill up the sand. You could be running or walking the sand like people in Florida does.
Yeah.
We could do that here in New Orleans.
Right.
So you think that's a 2 to 5 year?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So about development. It doesn't happen overnight.
Oh no.
We are.
No.
Everybody should know development doesn't happen overnight because you still got to construct. You still got to clean it.
And then you got to raise them. You got to find the investors.
Right.
Yeah. You got to clean it, but one of the Lincoln Beach, I definitely would love to see opportunity for many of our small EBOs.
Okay.
Yeah. So you guys know that we don't use DBEs anymore, disadvantaged business enterprise.
Okay.
We are now using EBOs, equitable business opportunity. And the reason why I changed that, and I actually changed it through legislation, is that as minority people, we're not disadvantaged. We just was never given the opportunity.
Right.
You know what, Cyndi?
So tell me a little bit about EBO, Cyndi, for the listeners.
Yeah, but it is true because I think in the days they were trying to find something to I don't know, it's just to make us to feel like well, we're not good enough for the job opportunity. No, it's not. That's not the case. It is the opportunity was never presented to business owners to make it equal.
Okay.
And so now we've changed from DBEs and now we refer to EBOs, equitable business opportunity. What does that mean? That means that every single business, EBOs business that are defined as minority business should have an equal opportunity at the table of contracting with the city of New Orleans and all the departments. And so what we did was federal government requires that you have to do 35 DBEs or EBOs, right? But what we've learned is that, like, let's just use City Hall, okay? And we have 15 departments that has contracting opportunity. And what they do is they just lump everybody in and say, you guys just give me 35% versus every single department give me 35%.
Right.
So my new legislation requires that every single department, don't F with me, okay, give me 35%. Right? Because it's terminology. And that's why, and the reason why there's not a lot of opportunity presented to our EBOs, because the city of New Orleans, and like I said, I'm just using the city of New Orleans as an example, like they lumped everybody in together, but we're breaking it down. And then the second thing is that we set all these legislation, right? But we don't follow up until somebody start crying. No, I don't need you to cry. So I just passed this legislation last month. So in June, I'm having all those departments come back up and show me where you at in reference to meeting the EBO's requirement in your department. And if you are shy a little bit, we're going to encourage you and remind you and make sure that you're on the same track of meeting the requirement. Now, if you have not done your part, then I'm going to be watching you.
Right.
Look,
if you ain't at that 35%.
Exactly.
But if you ain't at 5%, something wrong.
Exactly.
But the thing is, it's good to hear this because a lot of the people, especially people in our culture, don't know these things. And then we have with everyone in our culture now all of a sudden want to start their own businesses and move forward and try to make better themselves. This kind of information they do not know.
Yeah.
And it's good to hear. And it's also good to hear you have somebody in the building who's actually fighting for you.
Yeah. And I'm fighting, but I need people that are in business to make sure that they're registered with the city and make sure that you are correctly and make sure that you are marketing your business as well. You can't just depend on city government to do everything, right? You got to go out there and sell your program and sell your business and be out there like Ebony does. I'm gonna tell you,
No.
sister does an amazing job.
And look, Cindy, I was about to put that shameless plug in for Ebony Consultants LLC.
That's right.
We're here in the office right now. So anytime you want to meet her, just go on, follow her at Ebony Consultants LLC right now on Facebook and set an appointment so you can have your business done the right way.
And Ebony would definitely get you on the right track. I mean, I love her spirit. I love her energy. And I really believe, and seeing that's where the disconnect is at sometimes for some small business owners, that they don't have like an Ebony
to get them on the track.
Yeah. And then motivate
get their business together, start their business. My wife, shout out to Ebony Consultant. My wife used Ebony Consultant for her business, and it is doing amazing right now.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ebony.
And you just need that. Sometimes you need the energy to promote, because I mean, sometimes people go into business like, listen, I go into business, but I don't know anything about marketing.
Right.
But in these days, you gotta market your business. People ain't gonna find out about you if you don't say nothing.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where the marketing come in. But yeah, going back to just, I know we talked about development and stuff like that. We're working really hard to make sure that development kicks into the district. You know, we were very fortunate to bring in the first family entertainment center, the Optimus Entertainment Center, to the east.
Yeah, on
right?
Lake Forest.
On Lake Forest. And let me tell you a quick story about them. So the owner of that shopping center, you know, if you guys remember, that shopping center was not rebuilt when I came in. It was a skeleton.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was the only skeleton shopping center in the east. So I went and met with him and I said, listen, dude, you're gonna have to fix it up. You can't leave my district looking like that. You know, butt naked like that. We can't just do like that, right? So the guy's like, okay, man. It's like, Cindy, okay, I got some money, but what should I do? I said, listen, I think you should do like a family entertainment center, like where kids. He said, well, ain't gonna survive in the east. I said, BS.
We have families out there in the east.
And so I started sharing data, not so much like data, like, do you know that we, you know, like we have X amount of percentage of kids, you know, 45% of the people in the district are children under the age of 18. So what does that mean? That means that they belong to some parents, to family, right? And what does that mean? That these kids are gonna want to go to an arcade, want to go to an entertainment center. So met with them for a whole year, you know, convinced them, provided data, showed them statistic and everything. Finally, they were convinced. That's how that's why they opened up Optimus Entertainment Center. I did not give them a single dime from city government, you know. And so when we talk about development, we got, you know, where we're craving for restaurants, we're craving for a lot of stuff. They have to be convinced that they want to come into the market.
Come to the east.
Right.
That's some good stuff, Cindy. I'm glad you brought up economic development though.
Yeah.
So talk to us about like what's some of those things that you're looking to bring to the east. I know what's some of those things that you have brought to the east, like Optimus.
Yeah, Optimus.
And what's some of those things that you want to continue to bring, you have on the burner right now?
Yeah, so there's a couple of stuff on the burner, but as we talk about economic development, we also got to talk about dealing with blighted property.
Right.
Right. So you can't talk about bringing in stuff and then you're not addressing the stuff that's already there that's not right. So the Caveman Hotel, you know what I'm talking about, right?
On Shelf.
Yep.
On Shelf. I see they started doing work over there. So what are we? What is that? What would that be?
Yeah. So it's gonna be a mixed use commercial on the first floor, a 1-bedroom apartment for like single couples. And then I think they're going to do Airbnb there. So you got to have a mixed use because these days you just can't do one thing and survive. So I think that's great. So that has sat there for 15 years. So we're excited that that's back. And believe me, let me tell you, once he removes the Caveman Hotel, I'm going to pop my Crown Royal Peach. And I'm putting it on the rocks.
On the rocks.
On the rocks.
You probably want to just do
and
that.
And I will not be driving. Okay.
Right.
All right.
So you probably want to do that with neat.
Yeah.
I don't know. You probably want to do that with no rocks, no nothing.
No, take it from the bottom.
Right. That's it.
Take it from the bottom. So that's one. And then you guys remember the Lake Forest Senior Man right behind the Executive Towers. Is under renovation.
Yes, I saw that. It was under renovation. That's also under renovation. So what is?
That's going to be a 200-unit senior apartment living.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, we have over 3,000 senior citizens on the waiting list for an apartment.
Wow.
Wow.
What does that mean? That means that a lot of the seniors used to own home and they can't take care of the home, the size of the home anymore.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to make sure that they have, a housing that is suitable for them, that is safe, that they can afford, and that they can take care of.
Mm-hmm.
I have more individual, even my friends that are up in that age, like, Cindy, I can't take care of this big house anymore.
Mhm.
All the kids are grown. You and Ebony's gonna say that pretty soon, not that soon, but after me, but
Oh, after you.
after me,
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, so people are living longer, which is a plus.
Mhm.
So when you think about living longer in development, you have to understand how people are living.
Mm-hmm.
And so does that mean, and then I tell people all the time, and they say, well, the East is the largest district. We have the most population. We have 80,000, right? I say, when a restaurant should come in here. Well, I say, okay, good. But how come a restaurant hasn't came in and we've been 80,000 for a few years now? Think about it. So then if that's the case, then we need to strategize a different way,
Mhm.
right? Maybe we need to bring in more people. Maybe we should look at a lot of the zoning that we set. I think there's a thing that people feel like, well, we have enough people. And I say, if we did, then how come it hasn't arrived? How come TJ Maxx hasn't come in?
So I'm glad you're bringing that up. Do you think big business, large businesses are afraid to bring their companies, corporations like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Sam's? Are they afraid to bring them to the East because they don't? What's the gap?
No, I think the gap is because where we located, and so we're talking about 15 years after Katrina. So there's a TJ Maxx in Slidell, which is less than 10 miles from the east.
Mm-hmm.
There's a TJ Maxx on Claiborne, which is less than 12 miles from the east,
Mm-hmm.
right? So geographically, and if you were a TJ Maxx, where you put another one in the middle, you're not going to get more people coming to it. Your income will still be the same, but your overhead will be going up because you just added another site.
Mm-hmm.
Even like with Cricket, how Cricket thinks, right?
Mm-hmm.
They strategize on location. They look at where their competitors are, right? And they look at where they're at and where the other location at.
Mhm.
So business doesn't open another location to make it life easier for you. They open another location if it's not money. But if it ain't gonna make more money, it doesn't make sense.
That makes sense.
And big boxes are shutting down everywhere today. So the chance of big boxes, like I was reading Godiva chocolates shut down all of their storefront. Godiva chocolate, the strawberry coated. So they've shut down all of their storefront.
They had one in the mall in Inside, right?
Yeah, they shut that down. So now the only way you get Godiva is through their third-party vendors, a Walmart or something like that. I think COVID has put a damp into a lot of how the market runs.
Right.
I think COVID-19 has also put a damp in reference to retail. Makes the market very nervous.
Right.
But I really believe that we can reimagine business development in many different ways.
Right.
So it still can happen. We just have to, like it or not, be patient.
Right.
Right. Let's get everybody vaccinated. You guys are not old enough to take the vaccine yet.
We're not
I'm not in the number yet.
Yeah. So if you guys are eligible, will you take the vaccine?
I would.
You would. Good. Thank you very much.
Yes, I would.
And I think, Dee, for your viewers, that we want to encourage them to really consider taking the vaccine.
Yes.
If you guys are tired of how we're living, then you should be motivated to take the vaccine.
Yes.
Now, if there's concerns or that you have with the vaccine, get yourself educated. There's so many information out there that talks about the vaccine, but there's also a lot of myths that are put out there about the vaccine. So I've already got my first shot.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm much older than you guys.
Yeah. She was in the number, y'all.
I'm in the number.
You know what? We ain't gonna say you much older. We just gonna put it as, she's a citizen. She's essential right now. She's,
Yes, I have my AARP card. Okay, let's just say that. I am a member of AARP now. I just made it last year.
Cyndi, go ahead. I got a question, Cyndi. You talked about economic development, and we just gotta we reimagining like life after COVID, right? Especially with businesses closing. I would say like in the East, I know you've done a lot with low income families. You've done a lot with the urban community, and sometimes it attaches itself to the low income families, that the urban communities. What's going on for the taxpayers out in the East? So taxpayers are you know, in the East, they sometimes are getting I would say they say I guess it's more like, man, there's a lot going on for the low income families. They bring in a lot of the affordable housing to the East after the pandemic. And then the taxpayers are getting very nervous and scared. What would you say with that?
Yeah.
Let's call it what it is. What he's trying to say, he's Section 8, yeah. And let's call it what it is. Yeah. He's trying to sugarcoat it, but the taxpayers who own homes in New Orleans East, they're getting scared because of the rising crimes that's going on in New Orleans.
So Section 8. So there's nothing wrong with Section 8 at all.
Nothing wrong,
right?
No,
Let's just be very clear.
I was on it at one time.
I was too. My family was too. Yeah.
I'm just saying, hey.
Listen, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Right. So
it's no problem.
It's no problem with
it.
So
I think what happened is that after Katrina, when we shut down, when we tore down all the projects, right, downtown, and because those apartments were impacted by Katrina, the apartments in the East were not impacted by it. They sustained, right? So at that time, when they shut down the project, they didn't say, listen, okay, we're going to make sure that every district, every area is treated fairly. They didn't look, they just kind of shut it down and y'all go find a place to live.
Right.
So guess what? At that time, the East was the only place to find a place to live because those apartments, though they tore down the project.
Yeah.
So you know, I had to go to one of the apartments in the East under Section 8 because that's the only place to live. So everybody went out to the East because those are the only apartments that was still standing, right? And then when they rebuilt those apartments back up, right? They said, no, we only want 33% Section 8, 33% market, which is good model. You gotta have a mix. So yeah, but if you took 33%, what about the other 70% that's still out in the East?
Right.
Right. And so that's one thing. And then, but the apartment in the East did not renovate to the scale that it needs to be. So you got these deadbeat property owner, you got these greedy property owner, and said, listen, why should I clean it up when they're gonna pay me my rent anyway?
Yeah.
I'm gonna still get my check. So hell with it. Let them go in there and live. And let me just collect my check. And they did that for years, if not decades, right? And then when you have people living in there that's been mistreated, you know, comes out of their behavior. Yeah. Why should I care about this community when the community doesn't care about me? You know, and I'm just
when you got the property owner
and just because I'm on Section 8, that doesn't mean that I should be treated that way.
Differently, right?
But then I'm effed up because somebody effed me up.
Yeah.
And I ain't thinking right. Yeah. I'm not making excuses for nobody. There's no excuses for anybody, no matter how poor you are, Section 8, non-Section 8, for you to commit a crime. But the reality is that we're dealing with a serious mental health issue. When people screw you, what do? You
go screw them back.
But some of us have some sort of common sense, right? You know, some of us don't have that common sense or that guidance or that training in the past, you know? So if I've always been brought up, like people kept screwing me, I lived from one place to another place and I felt like no one cared about me. So why should I care about you in the community? You know, so I think that we, no matter what we have as a community, we got to care about each other. We, for those that survive the Section 8, then we should be able to give back and to understand, but help them. But listen, just because I'm helping you, but you also got to help yourself. Okay, you can't keep giving me excuses. Well, because I'm on Section 8. Well, BS, I was on Section 8. Well, I didn't go out there and kill anybody. I didn't go out there, trash up the neighborhood with trash. Mr. Nguyen will kick my ass.
That's right.
Look, Cyndi, that's how we were with our daddy. We didn't go out because we were scared. We wasn't scared of the police. We were scared of him.
Exactly.
We were scared of our
But the thing is that, and we're all parents now. Parenting is different.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, these days, when you're about to take out the belt, I'm calling 911 on you.
What?
Go ahead, Serena. See, in my family, go ahead. I dare you. Serena likes to be like, okay, Cyndi Nguyen. But in other family, you got parents like, oh no, baby, then I'm so sorry.
Right.
If the kids is wrong, they gotta be disciplined. So I think parenting is a little bit different right now. And then I think also the fact that we have parents that are required to work several jobs, and
they just can't watch them.
Yep. But then, Kerry, to me, it's like they stop having them.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
But then you also can't leave out the parents who want to treat their children as friends.
Oh yeah.
And it can't happen.
No,
I could still be cool with you as my child, but I gotta know where to draw that line there.
Exactly.
I gotta be your parent.
Exactly.
I'm your parent first.
I'm your parent first.
That's right.
So yeah, to get so in other words, what you're saying, Cyndi, to get New Orleans East back to its heyday from when it was the Plaza, and when you was if you were the person who moved up into a good job, the first place you ran was to
New Orleans East.
You know what I'm saying? To get that back is a collective.
It's a collective
effort from both our city leaders, which is you, who oversees New Orleans East, and also the residents of New Orleans East.
That's right.
To make it happen.
And everybody has to contribute. You just can't live in a community and say, I'm not going to contribute, but I want all of this.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. And then, but we also got to recognize the fact that we have citizens that are not contributing.
Right.
And when you exclude them, you're not doing yourself anything at all. All you're doing is that you're going to buck them up. So when you get mad and you don't get your way, what do? You keep doing it, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm going to show him. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You don't like me? Watch me.
Watch me. I got you.
Yeah, that's right. And see, and that's the thing. It's the psychological stuff, And so it's like if people feel like they're being loved and they're taken care of, they're going to give back. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the reasons why we've been focusing a lot on these apartments. And it's so true. And the reason why I know that these apartment wasn't rebuilt correctly, because we have been investigating a lot of these. We all have homes, right? We're very blessed to have homes. But a lot of these families are renting from places that are deplorable. I have units that are filled with mold from Katrina. So can you imagine living in an apartment with mold and still expect me to be civilized?
Right.
Right? It has to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
And we dealt with where these apartments are putting, and not just apartments, so let me just back up.